It's time for the Pat and Patti Show starring Eddie Smith and
Yeah, we decided to come back because the Paulding County Board of Commissioners met in a marathon meeting.
Woo-hoo!
They spent over they earned their money yesterday, the post commissioners too, sitting in those chairs for those hours.
Must have
And,
been grueling for them. I don't know how they bore up under the burden of it.
I don't know either. Well, you were trying to be one. Would you have? I mean, I can remember, and I've attended a ton of those meetings over the years.
Yeah, me too.
And really, the ones you've attended, because that was generally when there was a crowd around. The ones I would attend, it was almost like a quick trip to the House of Ill Repute. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Some of the stuff.
And who got screwed in that deal? The people, or?
Well, yeah, you might say that. The reality was that that was the reason I came up with that whole idea that we ought to put things on the table for 2 weeks at least, because you wouldn't have much time for any discussion. They'd just come in and say, "Hey, we got a new idea here. It's done. Bye. You're now, unable to drive a car in the county without a special tag, and it's a $100 fine if you don't." But I mean, it could be that bad.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they were
Crazy stuff can happen in the dark.
But I think at this meeting, there were 2 items on the agenda that had been tabled for a period of time, and as a result, there was a lot of constructive dialogue on both sides of the fence.
I agree. I actually heard some commissioners speak that I never really heard speak before. So I was impressed, and actually some intelligent things came out of the mouth.
On both sides.
Yes.
Both sides.
Yes.
Well, what was so intelligent about it in your opinion?
Well,
Why don't we start with the chicken issue?
yes,
first?
okay, that's a good, let's start there. Well, I found it interesting that,
Yes, because you're chicken, but
no, I mean, I live in the part of the county where there are chickens in the area. Not every morning, but often on a morning, I can hear the cock-a-doodle-doo coming from behind me. I like the chickens, they're okay. But I was very, very, very interested to hear the just wonderful Post Commissioner 1, David Carmichael, talking about how upset he was at the possibility that these chickens might devalue the people's homes, like might make people's homes worth less, and just what a horrible thing that would be if you suddenly found yourself with chickens next door making your home worth nothing. But yet, oddly enough, he wasn't the least bit upset about the devaluation of my home thanks to his airport. He has no problem with that. Why do you think that is, Deena?
I don't know. I found that to be probably the most disconcerting and alarming part of the conversation, but the rest of it I thought was fairly reasonable, and at least one of the commissioners had some well, 2 of the commissioners, both David Austin and Todd Pownell, both I think had either grew up having chickens, and Todd has said he had chickens at least 3 or 4 different times when his children were growing up and with the grandchildren. So they were looking at this issue from the point of view of experience, and they have been working on trying to accommodate Paulding County citizens' request for chickens. And I think that what they came up with was a pretty fair ordinance where you were limited to the number of chickens that you had. They could only be hens, and it's the roosters that make, the majority of noise. I don't really know that much about chickens, but I don't think that the hens really make much noise.
No, they just
it's not like a rooster.
No, and it's not like the cock-a-doodle-doo, but I kind of like it.
And then it also had some
I like the cock-a-doodle-doo.
setback requirements on each side of the property line, so that the chicken coop is not abutting right up next to your neighbor's property line. And then the other things, it had some guidelines as far as what the chicken coop could look like. It had to be tasteful. You just can't put a blue tarp over the top of it. So it had to be tasteful. So it seemed like it was something that is reasonable, and if the neighbors start complaining, if it doesn't look like they're taking care of them, well, you know, the county comes in and shuts down their
As
backyard.
chicken dinner?
Well, it comes in and I guess takes their chickens away, you know, or cites them or something. So
Roast
it looked
chicken
like
bonanza.
so it did look like it was a fair ordinance, and I think that David Austin did bring up a reasonable discussion that maybe we need to table this or at least hold off on it in light of the fact that there's avian flu going around the country. I think they've had to put down millions of chicken in Iowa. I think it's spread to Missouri. So it is an issue, and the avian flu is something that is spread by wild birds. And so I think that there is kind of a concern when you've got maybe inexperienced people that have never had chickens before, and what if
Board of Commissioners also did what we were saying they shouldn't do, which is spend a whole lot of time talking about and dealing with a new intergovernmental agreement.
And I was really shocked to see David Carmichael basically saying that exact same thing and talking about negative and positive energy. And Patty and I spent a lot of time talking about negative energy and positive energy and working towards enlightenment. But anyway, so
Well,
he
but
was
you know, by the same
about-
talking, I've heard y'all sit here and say, "Oh, everybody, run away, run away, run away! You don't want to live here. You don't want to deal with this. Go away, go away." I mean, it's not exactly the height of positive energy. And
we all have
look at-
our
look-
inner struggles as we work towards enlightenment. Pat.
That's true.
But
That's not the only time you're going to hit me today, I know.
But anyway, but he did bring up some of the things that we had talked about previously, in that what is the end result of this? You know, they can sit there and they can talk about
Yeah.
this for 10, 20, 30 minutes, and we
Stirring
ultimately
the pot.
know.
We talked about it in the last
And
show.
they even
Just-
use that same terminology,
Exactly.
stirring the pot. But basically, at the end result, they can spend, you know, however length of time talking about this issue. They know that it's going to be a 3-2 vote, and then when they take it to the airport authority,
They're
it's
gonna
probably
go,
going to be like, you know, 9-0 or 8-1. You know.
I don't know one
And-
reasonable person on the
and
airport
why-
authority, so I can't
So
imagine
why
there'd be
don't
one vote.
we talk about something meaningful
Well,
that's going to be of benefit to the citizens of Paulding County? And he brought up a great point. We need to be talking about this fire
The
station,
fire station,
and
yeah.
911
Oh, those type of
center.
things that have been put on
Hallelujah.
hold that are costing you money every
Oh my
month.
God, my
look at
insurance is-
going ahead and finding an alternative location to this, maybe somewhere else on 278 that can serve the residents of that post and service the
airport.
airport when
Yes.
it comes online. And it's going to be several years
And-
before this
yes,
issue
and
is
I
resolved.
have-
And I just thought that that was a good thing that he brought that up, because he also brought up the point that they need to do something about it before those SPLOST dollars.
Yes.
Even if they put the fire station at 278 in the entrance to the airport,
That would be better than on the airport grounds.
It
Because I know those airport boys. I studied them at their meetings for like 5 years. And what they do is they go, ooh, let's build this airport for the people right here at the, let's build this fire station for the people right here on the airport grounds. And then suddenly you find out, oh, it's gone commercial now. The fire station can't be for the people anymore. It can only be for the airport, because that's how they are.
Well, it would actually still be for the people, and it would
I
just
have no confidence
look.
in them.
All you're doing is it's kind of like saying, well, if we put it here, it can serve these people. In other words, it'll get to your house in time to keep the rest of it from burning, maybe, but it's not going to save any lives necessarily, because it's not going to be close enough to be your. If it was right across the street, it'd be different. But it's kind of like a compromise. You're
no,
compromising here,
putting
and
it-
whereas the greatest danger is at the airport. That's where the traffic is and transportation and whatever. that makes sense to put it closer. But you know, wait.
There is no
We can
traffic
stop.
at
We can
the
stop the
airport.
commercial airport if we just stop everything.
No,
Just stop everything.
That's an incredibly stupid thing to say.
And that's what y'all done.
No,
By
no.
insisting it not be done, it would have
No.
already been. It would be open today had you.
Well, okay, it seems incredibly stupid to me to put
something close to the danger.
If you would shut your mouth and let me speak, I would tell you what I think. If you put in a fire station about a mile down a little windy road at the airport, and then every time that it has to go on a call outside the airport, which is going to be about 99.9% of the time, they're going to have to drive that slow little windy road from the airport property
Down
out to
278, and then go down some more windy little roads.
Well, I
to
thought
get
that
to
you
the
were.
mall.
I thought you were sitting there telling me about how, in the big scheme of things, there's going to be a road that runs right down, right across from you. That you're going to be right on the corner of the back entrance to the airport.
Well, that's going to be
Well,
10 or probably 10 years down the road.
Or more.
But, yeah.
Well,
I don't see that being as soon as if it does go commercial and opens up that they would.
well, I know, but
you
see,
know,
by the same
you know,
token,
it's a
you've got
service interest.
in a worst case scenario, you've got a small commercial airplane that has a mishap on the airport, and so now you got to save 99 lives. You got to drive this fire truck all down this windy road to get down here and drive a mile down the length of the runway to be able to save somebody.
So you think there's going to be a lot more crashes at the airport than there are going to be
I'm going to
homes
say,
on fire in West
no,
Paulding?
what I'm going to say is that one crash with 99 people on board is.
There are no planes right now going in and out of that airport with 99 people on them.
There's potential.
Yes.
Okay, now Pat.
132.
Then
but
Brett
no,
Smith,
but the
can
point.
build his own damn airport if he wants, his own fire
Hold
station
on now,
if he
Patty.
wants.
We already.
Do they have a fire station in Yorkville?
Not
Well,
that
I think
I'm
we need to put
aware
it in
of.
Yorkville where all the people are, so it'd go up 101
Well,
and
let
all
me
that sort of
tell
stuff.
you
And
that
it would be
they-
a lot further away from your.
We
location.
need more fire stations. Than
Yes,
what
we do,
have
because
in
right
this
now
county.
my house is 7.2
Well-
miles away from the nearest fire station, which means that my homeowner's insurance is going to probably be $3,000 a year this year. It was $2,500 last year, and it went up like $400 or $500. It used to be $600 a year before the airport came. Now it's $2,500, and if it goes up another $400 or $500,
Why would it go up? Why is it going up? Because it would only be on the risk, which would be associated with.
Because you're up, I am more than 7 miles away from
Right.
the nearest airport. The
nearest fire station.
fire station. I'm much closer to the nearest airport, and the things that throw out the water, the fire hydrants.
It's a matrix.
It's a long way down the road. It's near the 278 is the nearest
They look
one.
at the
There's
age
no
of your
water.
house
Yes.
and wiring and
Yes.
everything. So it's a risk assessment
Yes.
matrix that the actuary.
And now that the airport is there, and I live at the east end of the runway, and accident potential.
So you're
zone
saying
B,
that the airport is increasing.
it's costing me money. Not only are my tax
Okay.
dollars being used to make my life miserable and to make my home worth nearly nothing, but my expenses go
Well,
up
have
astronomically.
you gotten a letter from your insurance company saying that the airport, the proximity of the airport, is the reason for the increase?
No, but I did.
Why don't you do that? Because you very well may need to. present
Fight
that.
City Hall. I tried that for a long time.
Well,
it
no.
doesn't work.
Look, we're talking. Have
But
you
if
never
you
heard
go
of the
and
court
you-
of public opinion? See, now that's the type of thing that would make sense. If you got a letter from your insurance company that said this,
Well, I
and
do-
it's costing you you can go say, hey, look, to the tax assessor and say, I don't need to pay this extra
Oh, please.
tax.
The tax
I want the
assessor
value
just
of the-
approved an increase in one of my neighbors who can actually see the end of the runway from his house and had to create special window shades to block the lights from the inside of his house.
Yeah.
His property value just went up $100,000. And he
Did he appeal it?
yes, he did, and they just went to him, and so his home is his value is increased when in reality the value of his home has plummeted thanks to the stupid airport. But the tax assessors in Paulding County think it's gone up in value and they've raised his taxes. Now, if that makes sense,
you can't
to
appeal. You can't
he
appeal that
did.
appeal.
Well, really? Well,
To the Superior Court and to
oh, maybe he's
Georgia
doing that. I
Supreme
don't know.
Court.
I don't know where he's going with it, but I
Okay.
just know
Well,
that
I mean,
right
there are
after the
appeals.
last appeal ended, he was horribly disappointed at the justice or injustice that he received.
Well, the Board of Tax Assessors and that whole bit. I mean, there's appeal from that as well. We've got a system that has a fair
Doesn't
number
work very well.
has a fair number of processes that you got to exercise to exercise.
Well, anyway, so the people, out at the ends of the runway just keep getting screwed.
So
every
we can,
day in every
and so
way.
just like the commission, we're sitting here arguing things that we ought to be figuring out how to agree about, which would be the location of the
Fire
fire
station.
station.
Should be where it's needed most, near the people.
And that was one of the things that I
That
think
means
Carl
Yorkville.
brought up.
Okay.
No, it means all the people.
Well,
there's
no,
there's
it-
lots
it-
of people out
well-
at the airport, believe it or not.
Not near as many as Yorkville,
Well,
but
maybe
no,
not.
well, I know, and
But
so
we're there, and we count, we matter.
I know, and the,
Maybe
the
not to
reason
our
you were,
elected
but
officials,
you were
but-
ahead of the game, quite frankly, with it being at the airport. Now I can understand the people in Yorkville being upset that they're going to build
Well,
it,
see,
down that
I
windy
disagree
road.
because I know I know Blake Swafford well, and I know that he's always got an angle, and I've got a feeling that airport was going to be built on the fire station was going to be built on the airport grounds because the airport wanted it solely for them.
Well, actually, if you, my opinion of that whole deal is that they were trying to be cognizant of the tight nature of the Paulding County taxpayer. In other words, it's better to build one here than to build one here, and maybe what we ought to be doing is putting the roads out, additional roads out from the airport at this point, and putting it there and actually improving the access to Gold Mine Road and whatever. But there's room for negotiation on all this. We don't have to put it on 278 per se.
But if that vehicle is needed at the airport and its sole use is for the airport, it's going to preclude where it's going to go if it can't be driven on the
you don't-
road.
I know, and you don't want it to be driven on the road, obviously.
But you're not gonna have firemen.
It's a fire truck.
You're not
I
gonna
know,
have.
so we will have to build. So we have to build a fire station for it to operate
we've
at the
got-
airport,
we've got all
and then
those
we got to build
hangars.
another fire station over here for the. We need to put a fire station in front of everybody's house. And man it 24/7. That's it. That's the ticket. That'll make all you residents happy. We'll just raise your taxes a little bit.
And we're already $6 million short on our budget.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that came out during the meeting.
Well, geez, if they could sell that fire truck and try to get a
And the movie
$500,000 for
studio,
it, yeah, then we might not be so far in debt.
I'm sure that we're talking about different accounts, and the
I know.
fire truck was bought with the SPLOS, which is something that can only be purchased capital equipment. The movie studio is the IBA's game, and it's entirely different from the county budget per se.
But who's making the bond payments? Is it the IBA? And is the county still making bond payments for some of the other IBA existing bonds? Because at one
I don't
point
think that's a $6 million shortfall though.
was
And
more.
all they're basically doing is telegraphing they're probably going to increase the millage rate a little bit. And
Yes. Increase
the
my
other side. Oh, well, hey, look.
Well, they can do both. They can raise our property values and the millage rate. A double
Well,
whammy.
they can tell the
Yeah.
sheriff to go out here and give us more tickets, just like they did in Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah.
We could start giving people tickets and making money from all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But instead, we're actually trying to do things like a drug court, and which will require some money for additional personnel and whatever, so that we can have diversion and actually go down the road of treatment as opposed to being punished.
What a concept.
Oh, I
Actually
know.
doing some good.
Well, and so you're not giving them any credit for that at all. I understand. That's fine.
Wait, I'm not giving them credit for the drug court?
Yeah.
No, I am giving them credit for
Oh,
the
you
drug court.
are? Well, I
think
thought
that's-
everything you did was bad. I just took that from your attitude in general.
But discussion is good. Dialogue is good. And
Well,
that
I know.
was the best thing about the Board of Commissioners meeting yesterday is that there was good discussion on both sides.
About
the chickens as well as the IGA.
In the obvious 3-2 vote. So, you know.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, well,
but
I
I think what we were hearing yesterday was a little bit more recognition of the fact that it's not my way or the highway. It's more we've got to figure out how to work together and something that's going to be fair to both sides, especially on this
That would be a
IGA.
marvelous thing.
So I was really impressed to hear, Todd and Vernon and Tony recognizing that fact, and I was glad to see that they pointed out some of the inequities in the previous IGA, in that it was basically ramrodded through to protect somebody's job
Yes, to
and
protect Blake
to
Swafford's
keep
job.
them from having any say-so. And I love what Vernon had to say. He basically said that, the previous IGA was just basically give us the money and shut up. Love that, Vernon.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, that was good.
It was good. And it was
Vernon had some
perfect-
good things to say.
It was a perfect synopsis of basically what that was. But I'm glad to see that the Paulding Coalition is realizing that it's not their way or the highway. We've got to work together for everybody. They represent all of the citizens in Paulding County, regardless of whether you're pro-commercialization or anti-commercialization. So that
Really?
is starting to.
You saw that?
I saw that. I saw a little bit of that. Maybe
Well, yeah,
I'm hopeful.
You're more hopeful than I am in that respect.
Yes, and I'm the cynical one.
Yeah.
Well, Patty.
Well, I've been offered so many sandwiches in this county that, it's hard to be positive.
But Patty, you remember we had that conversation the other day
Yes.
about perception
Yes.
versus reality, and a lot of times, your perception clouds what the reality is, and it prohibits you from change.
Yes, I know.
And even David Carmichael alluded to that. Maybe not in the great way that you had wanted him to, in talking about, the property values of somebody who lives next to a chicken coop.
Yeah, I mean, he's real worried about the property value of somebody who lives next to a chicken, but he's not even in the least bit worried about the property value of somebody who lives at the east end of the runway in accident potential zone B.
Well, hey,
that is
now that
showing
you've hit
that
me
that
twice,
is-
let's go for 3 times.
But that is showing.
Wait.
Guess what
Let me-
I've got going? You know all about the air show.
I know too much about the air
See,
show.
we'll put up a little. In fact, we're putting up a thing behind us at this point that
Yes.
has some information about it, and I just wanted to let you know that I got a personal invite from Brett Smith.
Oh, well, that
I'm
must be
envious 'cause
terrible.
I'm
Exciting.
To tickets and I guess parking. I don't know.
I'm
but,
envious because I was planning on going to Saturday night to see the fireworks and all the night show.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good lineup,
Yeah,
especially for Nigel.
it sounds pretty good unless you live at the end of the runway and all you hear is the boom, 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 and your dog is barking her head off. And for 3, 4, 5 days, it's like living in the middle
I
of
set it
the
up where
hell.
you could have gone to
The beach,
the
yes.
beach.
But see, I don't want to drive 6, 7 hours to the beach. I have a life here. It ain't much
Do
of
you
one,
want?
but it's what I've got, and it would greatly disrupt my life to have to suddenly run screaming from my home to somewhere so that.
So
I
you're
can-
running. You're going to stay in your home and just scream.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna be driven from my home. I'm gonna just do the best I can.
You're
I'm
going to
go-
put up a flag that's got one of them snakes
No,
on
I'm
it that says,
gonna
"Don't tread on me."
paint a big
And-
finger on the top of my car.
The rotating flashing mirrored finger. Yeah.
Okay, well no, you could get some chalk and do it on your driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
And when that F-18 is flying upside down over my house, just about 100 feet over the rooftop, he'll be able to see the big fingers on the driveway.
And he'll say, hey, here's Patty's GPS coordinates. Come and make her day.
Well, David Austin's map had the GPS coordinates, or at least the direction that my house is from the runway. So I'm sure he's already given that out to all the pilots.
Well,
Well, tell Brett Smith hello for it.
at the last group, last time we did the show,
Yes, I recall.
I showed you that video of your cousin.
Yes. The
And-
ever charming Rudine.
I want to meet
Yeah.
her.
Oh, she is a pistol.
I
Yeah.
can think of some people that we need to introduce her to. Maybe she needs her very own blue shirt.
Oh my God. Well, she would fit in with that crowd. Well, no, she doesn't really. She would fit in with the support Silver Comet Field crowd. She loves her some airport. Oh my God. She's completely
Oh, really?
insane. Yes.
In other words, I actually have something in common with this
Yes,
woman. Oh, God.
you and Rudine both love you some airport. Woo! She loves it. She loves them military flyboys coming over her house and making all the windows rattle. She says it makes her feel alive. And I thought, wow.
I guess.
I feel alive in other ways. To feel alive, I need some peace and some quiet and some tranquility. I don't like it when the floorboards vibrate
You'd like
under my
it. You would
feet.
like it in the tunnels then.
Well, I know.
It's quiet, 30 feet
Yeah.
underground.
There's
Well,
no vibrations.
I
There's
know.
no
Tanks come off.
sound.
Rudine believes that Earl Bubba works in the tunnels. And I know she believes that because she has told me over and over and over again. But I don't believe it because I don't believe there are any tunnels. She swears that she knows where the entrance to the tunnels are, that Earl Bubba doesn't even have to leave their property to get into the tunnels. But she says that she knows where it is. She's seen it. She's been there. I think she's nutty as a fruitcake. She makes Claxton fruitcakes look less fruity, I think.
I think,
Now, she doesn't want to admit to this, but Rudine called her after the last show.
Rudine called and said that she was very upset about what happened the other day, that if she had realized how bad things were going to look, because, perception is everything.
Yeah, I know. I didn't appreciate her pointing that damn gun at me. For
Well,
sure.
She's a pointer. What can I say? She likes to point whatever she's got. Knives, guns, it's always something with Rudine. A hoe, a saw,
But she
an
called
axe.
you, and did you record it?
Well, yes. You may listen to it if you like. Sorry, Rudine. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Damn it, Daddy, I got more trouble now. I know what to do with it. That damn Earl Bubba's madder than a wet hen. It's gotta stop now. Listen, what I said about Earl Bubba not working in the tunnels, now I'm telling you, you're wrong. He does work in the tunnels, I swear. Look, he hadn't made shine for more than 20 years. Ever since he started working in the tunnels, I'm telling you. You just gotta stop saying this stuff. And he quit growing that wacky weed too. He is now a tunnel worker all the time, 24/7. That's how the man makes his living. You're just making shit up now. I just can't have it. Now listen. Earl said he did agree with one thing that he heard y'all say. He says that syndicate is full of crap. Now, I don't like it. I think he's wrong. But he said that military is not coming out in tunnels and going to run us all down during that Jade Helm this summer now. He said that they're not going to come out of there and try to kill all the good Christian conservatives like Syndicate said. But listen, I'm telling you, what Earl Bubba says he thinks the tunnels are for, what they've been telling him is that when that damned Obama declares Sharia law, we don't have a place to go hide. You understand me? You get me now, Daddy? Now you gotta get that man. Well, actually, I kind of like that. Well, don't tell Earl Bubba I said that I like that man. Now listen here. But one thing you could do, you give that man my phone number, so in case he ever wants to come by again, he can call me first. Put on some lipstick or something, Hey, and listen, don't talk about me no more on your dumb show. I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Well, that was interesting.
Whoa!
Okay.
To me, to Rudine.
But I've heard about their reaction to the Pat and Patti Show is that we're too mean to some of these people.
I know.
Have you heard that?
Yeah. Well, and they're too mean too.
Well, I like
so
to think
what
that
goes
we're
around.
Equal opportunity, but we are trying to be nicer.
Yes, Deena's trying to make us nicer. Although I enjoy throwing a few punches.
What was that song that was? Your name is on the list?
Oh yes, who was the writer of that? Miss Positive.
Again, folks, we're trying to say
I
goodbye.
didn't change too many words.
We're trying to say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye. Adios.